Alright, Schlockmeister fans, you'll scream, you'll expand, you'll explode. It's Spasms. Let's check it out. Our movie starts on an island somewhere where some natives are chanting and dancing.
Tell him we do his people a big favor by taking away their death. No. Tell him we have an arrangement with our chief.
Next thing you know, something big is stalking everybody. But apparently that was the plan. They wanted this thing to come out of whatever it is, this monster, so they could capture it. Oliver Reed is Jason Kincaid.
Landez, this is Jason Kincaid. Have you got it?
Yes, Mr. Kincaid, I've got it.
Where is it now?
I don't think you know very much about this animal, Mr. Kincaid, because if you did, you wouldn't want me to send it to the States.
I'm getting real
Dr. Tom Brazilian, Peter Fonda.
This is not news.
Well, what the hell? I don't like sticking around in one place too long anyway. I don't know where I'm going next there.
No word yet?
Nah.
Kincaid hires Fonda.
Enormous genetic community.
Apparently it's a snake, or some sort of
But
serpent.
I'm still left with this lingering connection with the animal.
And he has some sort of telepathy with it. The animal killed his brother.
You understand, a psychiatrist would explain this without resorting to extrasensory phenomena. I mean, my work is still largely theoretical, but if I'm correct, the brain proteins involved in telepathy are produced by virus. Well, there's clearly no reason why the snake couldn't be carrying that virus and have transmitted it to you when you were attacked.
So the snake is in that crate, and I guess evil follows it wherever it goes. There's some sort of snake-worshipping cult that wants this creature for themselves.
After the devil, Mr. Crowley. Sure, Reverend,
They've hired this guy to steal it.
Anyway, Kincaid consigned the crate to,
we will do whatever must be done. Whatever the cost, we shall have the great serpent.
On the boat, this guy gets curious. He feels a bit woozy and his arm starts to bubble. As his arm starts to explode, he makes his way to the edge of the ship and falls off. Apparently Kincaid had some sort of psychic link when that happened.
I don't understand what you hope to gain by this. I don't see how you could shape this thing by bringing it home.
It's the only way.
We then get a flashback to when he was with his brother in the woods on whatever island that was, when the snake killed his brother. Carrie Keane plays Suzanne. It was her husband who died, so she's the sister-in-law to Kincaid. She doesn't want him messing with the snake, so she turns up the heat in the thing where it's being kept to hopefully kill it. Meanwhile, the two thieves brought in by that snake cult have broken into the building.
What are you doing? I know what I'm doing.
This guy ends up dead. The other guy does manage to escape, but the snake is now loose.
turned up the container temperature when you were out of the laboratory. I intended to kill it today.
You'll need warmth. It'll be looking for a warm place.
You can't catch that.
I'm not gonna catch it. If it's in there, I'm gonna kill it.
They've managed to track the thing down inside of a greenhouse or something. You had a very brief glimpse at it there. But they're over their heads and they know it. They managed to elude the thing. Three women in a house, the obligatory shower scene. I think it's a dorm room actually, and outside that dorm room, our snake is stalking. And it eventually gets in. Catches her, tosses her around the hallway, and into the shower. And again, Mr. Kincaid seems to have some sort of psychic link with it. Now the snake is out in the woods while this lovely lady plays frisbee.
I'm not going in there this time.
Don't be such a big baby. Go on.
She goes in after the frisbee, giving us ample shots of her cleavage, but the snake actually doesn't go and get her. However, it does go after this guy in the van. That's the thief. And again, Peter Fonda is studying Kincaid as he has this episode.
I mean, that thing is out there killing people. That's what we saw just now and there.
Yeah, it's killing people.
And unbeknownst to them,
It's
Kincaid
killing him too.
got up and left after that happened. He's going to chase the snake on his own.
He's gone.
He ends up heading to this house where he knows the snake is, and he's armed himself with a shotgun. Which I guess he doesn't know how to use very well. Two of them end up outside in the yard. I guess that was the snake blowing those walls out in the house. Somehow. There it is. The snake sinks his teeth into Kincaid. Our hero flops to the ground. And Peter Fonda does what apparently Kincaid couldn't do. Simply shoot it. That's all you gotta do. And that's the end of our movie. Alright, let's talk about the movie Spasms. You scream, you expand, you explode. Okay, Oliver Reed, Peter Fonda, Carrie Keene, you might remember her on Beverly Hills 90210 if you ever watched that show. She was on there. Obviously, Oliver Reed and Peter Fonda, known for a lot of things. What we have here is Oliver Reed. His brother was killed by this snake years earlier, this giant serpent of some sort. And he lived, Oliver Reed lived, and he's always felt some guilt about this. And now he has some sort of psychic link with this giant snake, whatever the hell it is. It was discovered on some island in Micronesia or somewhere, I don't know. I don't know, but somewhere in the remote tropics somewhere. Anyway, he hires some people to capture this thing and bring it back home. He wants Peter Fonda to study him and the snake together. Of course, once the snake comes back, there's like some weird snake cult also that wants to grab the snake before Peter Fonda can get a hold of it. And so they send this guy, a couple of guys actually out to capture it. But one of the guys gets killed in the process. The snake escapes and then it wreaks havoc. It starts killing people, a lovely lady in the shower, somebody else in the house gets thrown through the shower at the naked lady in the shower. Peter Fonda all the time, not Peter Fonda, Oliver Reed all the time has this psychic link with the snake. You can kind of see what the snake is doing. Peter Fonda is monitoring Oliver Reed all this is happening, and they're trying to, I don't know exactly what they're trying to do, to be honest with you. But Oliver Reed eventually says, I'm out of here. He leaves this place, and he goes to this house where he thinks the snake might be. He's armed with a gun. When he gets there, the snake attacks him and basically kills him in the yard. Peter Fonda and Carrie Keane follow. They show up, and then they just take a gun and start shooting at the snake, and the snake apparently dies. It was really that simple. I don't know. It is a giant thing. It's silly. It reminds me of like monster movies from the 50s, the way they open their mouth. That's kind of what the snake was in this one here. But yeah, they kill the snake, and that's it. So why couldn't Oliver Reed shoot the snake and kill it? I don't know. He had a big shotgun, but I guess the snake got him. It is what it is. Spasms. So anyway, Code Red released this DVD a few years back, and then it got pricey and out of print. And then it was re-released on Blu-ray by Code Red, I believe, also, and that is now out of print and pricey as well. So if you want Spasms, however, what form you want it in, you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay for it. It's not cheap. I think the DVD itself was running for about $60 before the Blu-ray came out, and I think the Blu-ray is even more expensive now. I don't know. I'm not sure why this is so sought after. It's a ridiculous horror movie from the 80s, but it is a horror movie from the 80s, and they are beloved by us, aren't they? So anyway, that is Spasms. I'm glad I have it. The DVD is good enough for me, though. If somebody gave me the Blu-ray, I would, of course, take it, but I think I'm not going to spring for that. Check it out, Spasms. Curious what everybody thinks about it. Killer snake movie, a little bit of nudity thrown in, a little bit of gore. It's silly and ridiculous, but it's pretty entertaining too. So you can't go wrong. It's not a bad way to kill 90 minutes. Check it out. Leave some comments and know what you think about Spasms. Watch it. Bye.